This room was inspired by the cafeteria in an insane asylum, which I thought was very appropriate for our show. Beginning of the whole show, Stephen did say that if he could make the Knick all shot black and white, he would. So I thought, okay, we're building a large portion of the hospital. The one thing I could do is make everything feel like a black and white photograph. I only used 4 shades of gray, white, black, and brown, which is coming in with the wood tones. We're now in the wards. You can see that there's sort of connecting hallways, and you can fluidly move between all the different rooms. And if you walk in here, this was sort of based on Presbyterian hospital research and the number of beds and sort of the size of the room. And that was all taken from what was actually real and how the hospital really did set up and treat patients.
Mr. Gentili's developed a small case of bronchitis, which is common after such a procedure.
It had this shiny wood varnish ceiling, obviously painted walls, and the columns had a weird kind of metallic quality to it. What's interesting about this room is there was a lot of talk about the hospital being run down, and we got to the point where we started to add the aging, and I couldn't tell the scenics to age it. Sometimes when you work on a set, it sort of speaks back to you, and I couldn't say, make me old. And so the writers rewrote a section where they talk about in the boardroom how they blew all their money on the renovation of the boards.
Monthly costs have increased. This is due in part to the recent renovations in the men's and women's wards.
It was nice to work with a group of people who would actually allow you that kind of creativity.
Definite murmur can be heard, unless there's the damn lights popping on again.
Over here, this pays tribute to our advancement of electricity in the show. And because Barrow was grafting money off of it, the guy did a very substandard job.
We need more than window light, Herman.
I'm taking care of it.
Today, or I will resolve it myself.
Thackeray, in a fit of rage, goes and chops into this. So the intention was this big collection of wires that we're going to chop through and there'd be sparks. And then Clive Owen said to me, Howard, I don't think that's very dramatic. And he said, can't I hit this? This is like period, one-of-a-kind box. I said, well, Clive, I could probably make 3 more of the boxes, but you'd have to hit it exactly on the edge here in order to maybe possibly save this face. If we're lucky, it'll fall right. And so we started a scene. We didn't rehearse it. All the doctors are sitting there. Everybody's talking. Stephen's got the camera on his shoulder. Clive gets angry, grabs the handy-dandy axe. Stephen follows him over there, and he has to chop into the thing, and if it all goes wrong, we have to do that whole thing over again. And Clive perfectly hits the box. The effects guys did the sparks just at the right time, and the thing flew out of the wall, and Stephen goes, okay, let's move on. So that sort of concludes our little walking tour of the wards. Generally, what we've just seen was designed and actually built in about an 8-week period. One of the things that was really important to me as a designer was sort of the scale of it all and the centralizing color theme and the fact that you can walk from one piece to another without cutting gives us our unique look.